And I was like, oh, Dean's not wearing a shirt. And then I was like, oh, like, also hot girl.
She's not wearing a shirt either.
Also not wearing a shirt. So yeah, I just marked me down as distracted.
Equality.
Dean finds himself some clothes. And a quick note, I was almost more distracted by Dean wearing a shirt because I got distracted by the shirt. This is the shirt that Dean was wearing in Playthings and Night Shifter that reminded me of a shirt that Dean wears in a really important to me scene in season 15, episode 3, The Rupture. It's the shirt.
At least you're thirsty in, like, a useful way.
My name is KJ, and you're listening to the Supernatural Opinions podcast, where some things in this world are supernatural. My pronouns are she, they, and this is the podcast where I talk to my fellow Supernatural fans about Supernatural, and we share our Supernatural opinions.
Today we're recapping Season 2, Episode 20, What Is and What Should Never Be, which originally aired on May 3rd, 2007. And here to help me do that are my guests of the week, Meredith, Jordan, and Nick. Meredith, remind everyone who you are.
Oh, I'm Meredith. My pronouns are she and her, and I can't really think of a snappy thing to say, so that you just get boring stuff.
And Jordan, remind everyone who you are.
Hi, I'm Jordan at PsychicChick21 on the TikTok, and I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you back. It's been a little while since you were last here.
It has.
I don't remember how long of a little while, but I know it's been a little while.
Months. It's been months.
It has been a long time. And Nick, remind everyone who you are.
Yeah, I'm Nick, and I am just tired, but I'm here.
Yeah, you're here, and that's what counts. And it's been a few weeks since you were here also, so we're glad you're back.
Happy to be here again.
This week's episode will contain spoilers for this episode and may reference previous episodes, but will not contain spoilers for later episodes of Supernatural. This week's episode is titled What Is and What Should Never Be, and that's a reference to the song by that name on Led Zeppelin's second album from 1969. And this week's episode was written by Rael Tucker and directed by actual show creator Eric Kripke.
Appropriate.
Rael Tucker last wrote just a few episodes ago on Season 2, Episode 16, Roadkill, and Eric obviously created Supernatural, and this is the first of 2 episodes that he's directed in the show's run. The second one is not going to be for a while. It's the Season 4 finale. But yeah, we're excited. We're excited to talk about Eric, and we're excited to talk about this episode. Let's get into the recap. Dean is driving on his own, and Sam calls from the Joyer motel where they are staying because there's a police car parked outside the room, but they drive away. Sam is not enjoying their increased on the runness. They are fugitives after the last couple of episodes. It was last week that we had Folsom Prison Blues, so they are really on the run now.
Yeah, they have a lot of reasons to be skittish.
Yeah, everybody is looking for them.
Just a little paranoid, yeah.
The police is Joyer Metro, which is about 48 kilometers or 30 miles from Chicago. I did look up where they were.
Was their stuff already out of the room?
I guess.
I hope so. So they're not coming back.
They are not. I noticed that they showed the license plate in the very first shot of the episode, and Dean then specifically mentions it when he's talking to Sam. And that's when I remembered that this is the first time that they've changed the license plate.
From Kansas to Ohio, right?
Yeah. Kansas plate was KAZ2I5, and now we are in Ohio, so the plate is CNK80Q3. And Sam's like, well, while I have you on the phone, do you have anything on the case? Because the boys are already well into a case. We got no cold open of anyone getting killed. There's nothing flying around ghost style. The boys have done all that. They've already they're like 8 minutes into this episode within the first minute.
What? No, the journey.
Yeah, they've already been alerted of this case, arrived in town, gotten a motel room, and split up to do different things.
What happened between? We don't know.
This is probably when we start thinking maybe the monster isn't the main point of this episode.
Yeah. Always a good hint. Sam has like 7 books open and he's reading all of them all at once. And Dean's like, no, Sam, I don't have anything. You sent me on literally the thinnest of leads. And if I had something, I would have called you. I have absolutely nothing. Why are you bothering me? And Sam's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I think we're hunting a Djinn. And Dean's like, seriously, a genie? Can some wishes granted up in here? Sam makes an I Dream of Genie reference before Dean can and says that there's a lot of mentions of genies in the Quran eating people. I don't know why I said Quran like that.
Quran.
The whitest way I could have said that. My apologies to anybody listening who I might have just offended with that horrible pronunciation.
I'm a white Christian and you offended me.
As you should be. Dean says Barbara Eden was way hotter than that bewitched chick, and I'm assuming he means Elizabeth Montgomery, and I'm not sure what Dean is talking about, because they are both beautiful blonde actresses, and they could be sisters or cousins. They look exactly the same.
Barbara Eden's costume was more revealing. That's probably what Dean was thinking of.
That is true. But, like, literally, like, face by face, they look the same to me.
They do.
I was, like, Googling, like, them in, like, 1965, at the peak of their respective shows.
Have you seen either of those shows?
I haven't watched either of the shows, but I am aware of them. Watch it. Like, I understand the cultural reference. I watched neither.
Used to be on TV Land back in the day.
They're fun shows. Yeah.
They are. She married an astronaut.
That's the dream.
Sam is just, like, desperate for Dean's attention. And mine, because Sam's wearing 2 t-shirts, leaving his arms bare, plus the bangle is still present from episode 14. He's just got his one bangle. So I'm just, my attention is on Sam, which is even funnier considering, like, where Dean's, wardrobe goes in about 3 minutes. Dean says he'll check out some nearby ruins, and he will not be going all the way back to pick up Sam first. They can't all be smart. Sometimes they're just pretty, and this is one of those times.
At least they're still
just
pretty,
hot,
though.
and they're not smart.
At least you're still contributing to society.
Dean is just hanging out with his large knife and a flashlight when he gets slammed up against a wall by a dude covered in what appear to be tattoos, and then he's got like a glowy blue hand, and then Dean is waking up shirtless in bed next to a hot naked girl. And I was like, oh, Dean's not wearing a shirt. And then I was like, oh, like, also hot girl.
She's not wearing a shirt either.
Also not wearing a shirt. So yeah, I just mark me down as distracted.
Equality.
Dean finds himself some clothes, and a quick note, I was almost more distracted by Dean wearing a shirt because I got distracted by the shirt. This is the shirt that Dean was wearing in Playthings and Night Shifter that reminded me of a shirt that Dean wears in a really important to me scene in season 15, episode 3, The Rupture. It's the shirt.
At least you're thirsty in, like, a useful way.
Also, since Dean has woke up shirtless, he now has a silver chain on, not his usual amulet, which has a black, like, cord instead of a chain. This is a silver chain. It's very shiny in the camera light. Like, very, very distracting how shiny the cord for it is.
Just a bit bright.
It's probably not the only thing distracting you right now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, his shoulders were so tan that, like, it really was like a beacon.
I mean, there's multiple things to shine.
It was just, like, reflective. I'm like a pro. Show me the shiny thing. Oh my god, my mom's gonna listen to this.
Whatever shiny thing you have, show it.
Sam still has this little Verizon wireless Motorola Moto Q, and he has a ton of stuff on his phone from Christopher Cooper. 3 of the 4 emails that we can see are from this dude. One says Sam Winchester, one says Sammy, and one says S Winchester itinerary and then some sort of ID number. And then the one not from Christopher is a CMS, Content Management System bulletin from Cornerstone Warranty. So this Sam is boring and also maybe cheating on Jessica. With like, it's literally so many emails, and like, we know that Sam does not go by Sammy.
Wait, I missed the thing that makes you think he was cheating.
Just the volume of emails, and then like the one that says Sammy. This guy's probably Sam's like personal assistant or something.
Okay, let's hope. Or
his boss. It's one of those two. But I just like the Sammy really caught me off guard. I was like, no one calls Sam that.
It's like a boss that likes to infantilize people.
Because it was like Sammy and Sam Winchester and S Winchester. I was like, that's the full range of Sam's names.
Wow, variety.
And like 3 out of the 4 visible emails were from this one dude. Dean's like, I don't know where I am. And Sam's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where you think you are. I don't know about a Djinn. But I do know that the hot girl is named Carmen. And he's like, I just think you're drunk, and hangs up. I'll see you tomorrow.
He's like, go to sleep.
Sam's reading Criminal Law and Procedure by Kevin Parks. As far as I could tell, I couldn't find this book, but it was actually really hard to see the author's name because of the way that it was embossed on the cover of this book.
Ooh, good job.
It was like a book from like one of the writers or something, I want to say.
Like, this is a sign that something is up.
This is also the only indication ever that Sam wanted to go into criminal law, except for maybe that one episode in season 6. But like canonically, like we've all just accepted that Sam was going to go into criminal law when he went to law school, and this one like book is the only evidence.
Yeah, this looks like one of my facts, the law book that you read in alternate realities written by Kevin Parks.
It's not even real. Dean picks up their mail, and he's at the home of Carmen Porter, whose address is 53 Barker Avenue, Lawrence, Kansas, 66044, which is a correct zip code for Lawrence, Kansas. I was like, they did their job correctly.
Well, they got something right.
And the next two pieces of mail are addressed to him. Like, he also lives here with this girl. Carmen is up now, and I was immediately struck by how much she looks like Lisa, a character we have not yet met, but will be meeting next season. And then by how perfect her hair is. Like, she's in a robe, and we just saw her asleep and naked, and now she is not a hair out of place. It's all, like, perfectly curled. It's smooth. It's shiny. I've never looked this good on, like, my, like, best day.
It makes sense, too.
And this girl allegedly just woke up.
So Dean's type is dark-haired beauties with very good hair.
Literally her face, I had to look it up to make sure that they didn't reuse the actress. I was very like, what is happening? It is not the same actress. They just look incredibly alike. It was like the structure of her like bones and nose that really got me. I was like, is this not the same girl?
Yeah, she looks very similar.
It's not.
Cousins.
Like if you stare at her, but like my initial reaction was, oh my god, that looks like Lisa.
Foreshadowing in the weirdest way.
Carmen is more than happy to use up some of Dean's energy, and he's like, that sounds great, but he sends her back to bed so he can investigate their house, and he's looking at their photos when he sees one that just sends him running out the door. Dean drives over to their house, which is 1841 something street, and Mary Winchester answers the door, looking understandably concerned to see him and very much alive.
And this is the part of the episode where we're like, oh, this is serious.
Yeah, things have taken a turn. Carmen also called Dean's mom. Just like, he's an adult, but he's still your problem.
Yeah, the concern was real, yeah? Like, what's going on?
But also, oh my gosh, she's not just a hookup.
Yeah, she has his mom's phone number and is comfortable calling in the middle of the night.
Good to know.
Dean quizzes Mary on his childhood and then hugs her like it's been 20 years, and she's very confused and concerned. He's like, you're so beautiful. Like, do we ever have a fire here? And Mary's like, no, we never had a fire here. Like, are you drunk? Like, what is happening?
He's right, though. She is beautiful.
She is, honestly. Samantha Smith looks great, as always.
I would have a very big look if somebody asked Mel and I, like, oh, you look prettier. Was there a fire? Like, are you okay? You need help?
It's an odd, like, left turn to an already weird conversation.
I know, right? In another context, I'd be like, is he going to do a pickup line?
Dean's looking at pictures, him at his prom, and Sam's graduation, and John's softball photo. John's dead. He died of a stroke in his sleep. So glad he's not here. I know it's just because they couldn't get Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but...
I don't want to see his stupid face.
Dean's like, that's great that Dad died. And Mary's like, excuse me, what? That's my husband.
Come again?
And your very loving father. Mary also assumes that Dean's drunk and she wants to call Carmen to get him. And he's like, no, I want to sleep here. And Mary's like, okay, I'm going to bed, you little weirdo. Like, I love you. That would be such a red flag for me. Like, I'd have so many follow-up questions if my child showed up in the middle of the night and then was so insistent on not going home to their partner for no apparent reason.
And happy that his dad is dead.
And also, I hope that she called Carmen and was like, yeah, he got here and he's weird, but he's fine. Because, like, she's probably sitting up worrying.
Probably, yeah.
And it doesn't appear like anybody tells her that Dean, like, arrived at his mom's. Like, Dean wakes up on Mary's couch, faced with their family photo from when the kids were small. All these photos are photoshopped together from Jensen and Jared and Samantha and Jeffrey's, like, actual photos, and they look great. They're little
Very
cuties.
cute. I like it when they use, like, actual photos of
Me
the
too,
actors
it's
when they
so
were young.
cute.
That's adorable.
Little tiny Jensen in this family photo is so cute, and I think like, those are probably Jared's actual high school graduation photos, and they're super cute. It's like the tiny little baby. But I like that like the family photo just like gave Dean a jump scare.
Yeah.
Scarier than any monster.
I mean, John Winchester in a Christmas sweater.
A happy life I never experienced.
Way scarier than like a Djinn.
Dean needs some answers, so he lies about being in some professor's class so he can talk to the dude about Djinn. And Dean's like, can they really do it? And the prof is like, no, these are stories. And he's like, no, I know. In the stories, could they do it? And for the third time, Dean is asked if he's been drinking.
Again, with the professor who's like, son, these are stories. Like, no professor I know would talk like that.
Yeah, exactly. Every professor I know would have been like, well, these people definitely thought that they could.
Yeah, and like every professor I know would be like, I never get to info dump about this. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
What do you want to know?
Spent a decade getting this PhD.
Also, I'd like to believe that this professor is like the driest professor, because like when he's like, I don't remember you in my class, Dean's like, you make learning fun. I love your lectures. And I would love if this guy like went out of his way to be boring and he was just confused by that whole comment.
What? My life's work.
He's like, what just happened?
Dean opens the trunk, and I have some things to say about the contents of Dean Winchester's trunk, because he has no weapons back there, because he's a normal human being in this reality. But his trunk is not empty. He's got 4 coffee cups at least, an old takeout container, 2 magazines, a flashlight, a baseball